Hey there, Falcons fans. There's been a lot of buzz lately about signings and what the future holds for our team. Let's break it all down together. Before we jump into today's exciting update, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all the latest Atlanta Falcons news. Now, let's talk about something really important for the Falcons' future. Reports say the team is working hard to re-sign starting center Drew Dalman as he gets ready to enter free agency in March. This could be a game-changer for our offense, especially as the front office looks at the roster with free agency on the horizon. Drew, who is just 26 years old, has just wrapped up his rookie contract and has played a vital role in the success of our offensive line. His steady performance in both the run game and pass protection hasn't gone unnoticed. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, Atlanta is expected to make a strong effort to keep Dalman, highlighting how important he is for maintaining a solid offensive line, especially with Michael Penix Jr. developing as our quarterback. Drafted in the 4th round in 2021, Dalman has become a dependable starter, racking up 40 starts in his 4 seasons. Even though he faced some ankle injuries that kept him off the field for a bit, his impact when he's healthy is clear. In 2024, he earned an impressive 78.8 overall grade from Pro Football Focus, ranking 4th among all centers in the league. His run blocking was particularly strong, finishing in the top 5 with a grade of 79.8. His pass protection was solid too, with a respectable 66.6 grade, allowing just 2 sacks over 554 snaps. When asked about his future, Dalman remained professional yet hopeful, expressing his desire to continue his career in Atlanta. While he didn't go into contract specifics, what really stood out was his praise for offensive line coach Dwayne Ledford. He called him amazing and credited his coaching style for the unit's success. Stay tuned, Falcons fans. This potential move makes a lot of sense. A strong offensive line is essential, not just for the running game, but also for protecting our quarterback, especially with young talent like Michael Penix Jr. in the mix. If we were to lose Dalman, it would create a big gap in the middle of the line, so keeping him in Atlanta seems like a top priority for the front office. Now, I want to hear from you. Should the Falcons do everything they can to bring Dalman back, or would you prefer to explore other options in free agency? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The Falcons made significant defensive improvements in 2024, especially with a major quarterback change late in the season. With first-year offensive coordinator Zach Robinson and running game coordinator Dwayne Ledford at the helm, the offense finished the year strong, ranking in the top half of the league in several categories: 6th in total yards, 5th in passing, 10th in rushing, and 13th in points per game. There's a lot to unpack here. Head coach Raheem Morris has been vocal about his excitement regarding the offensive unit's progress, particularly with rising stars like Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Darnell Mooney stepping up. But the biggest story was the shift at quarterback from Kirk Cousins to rookie Michael Penix Jr. Cousins started strong, leading the team to a 6-3 record, but he faced challenges after a tough loss to the Saints, where he was sacked 3 times and hit 9 times. After leading the league with 16 interceptions, the Falcons decided to bench him in favor of the young talent, Michael Penix Jr., the 8th overall pick. Penix took over for the final 3 games and showed flashes of his potential. While he completed 58.1% of his passes for 775 yards, with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, his deep ball was impressive, averaging 10.1 intended air yards per attempt, much better than Cousins. Penix Jr. showed promise in high-pressure situations, and the team has officially named him QB1 moving forward. What do you think? Did the Falcons make the right choice by sticking with Penix? Now let's talk about Bijan Robinson. This guy was simply unstoppable. He finished 3rd in the NFL with an impressive 1,456 rushing yards on 304 carries, averaging 4.8 yards per carry and scoring 14 touchdowns. On top of that, he added 61 receptions for 431 yards and another touchdown. Robinson was the driving force of our offense, accounting for nearly 70% of the team's rushing yards this season. And let's not forget about Tyler Allgeier. He was a solid complementary back, racking up 644 yards and 3 touchdowns of his own. The Falcons' running game continued to dominate, marking their third consecutive year of surpassing 2,000 rushing yards as a team. On the receiving side, Drake London and Darnell Mooney were electric, nearly becoming the first duo since 2012 to each hit 1,000 yards. London stood out with his physical play, while Mooney added a dynamic deep threat. Ray McCloud also had a career year, finishing with 62 receptions and 686 yards. However, tight end Kyle Pitts remains a bit of a question mark. Despite showing flashes of his talent, he finished with just 602 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is far from what you'd expect from a top 5 pick. Could he be trade bait as the Falcons look to strengthen their defense? The offensive line also deserves a shout-out. It was anchored by Chris Lindstrom, who earned his third consecutive second-team All-Pro selection. Drew Dalman also impressed, finishing 4th among centers according to Pro Football Focus, although his contract situation is something to keep an eye on. What are your thoughts on the running game and the receiving core? Let's keep the discussion going. As we head into the offseason, the big question is, can the Falcons keep this offensive momentum going into 2025? With Penix ready to lead, Robinson dominating on the ground, and a strong group of playmakers, the foundation is definitely there. But what do you think, Falcons fans? Should the team continue to build around Penix and Robinson, or should they explore other moves to take the next step? The Falcons have been busy this week, and there's an interesting development. Green Bay Packers defensive pass game coordinator Dirk Ansley has officially interviewed for the defensive coordinator position here in Atlanta. I know what you might be thinking. Most of the candidates we've seen so far have been seasoned veterans like Wink Martindale, Jeff Albrecht, Lou Anarumo, and Steve Wilks. But Ansley is a bit of a wild card in this mix. His coaching resume is solid, but he has less experience than the other candidates. He served as the Chargers' defensive coordinator in 2023 under Brandon Staley, although he didn't call plays at that time. However, when given the chance after Staley's firing, Ansley really stepped up. Remember when the Chargers held the Bills to just 24 points and the Chiefs to only 13? That was Ansley calling the shots. His background is heavily focused on defensive backs, with coaching stops at Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky before jumping to the NFL with the Raiders in 2018. Most recently, he's been with the Packers, where their pass defense ranked around the top 10 in the league. While he may not have as much experience as the other candidates, his potential is undeniable. Speaking of experience, the Falcons also completed a key interview with former Bengals defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo. This guy knows how to call plays at a high level. Anarumo spent the last 6 seasons in Cincinnati, and in 2022, he led the Bengals to a top 5 scoring defense. Yes, his 2024 unit struggled, finishing 25th in points allowed, but his overall track record makes him a serious contender for this role. The Falcons are being thorough in their search. Alongside Ansley and Anarumo, they've also interviewed Wink Martindale, Jeff Albrecht, and Steve Wilks. It's clear that head coach Raheem Morris is leaving no stone unturned in finding the perfect leader for this defense after last season's struggles under Jimmy Lake. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should Atlanta go with a seasoned vet like Anarumo, or take a chance on an up-and-comer like Ansley? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button so you never miss the latest Falcons news. Rise up and go Falcons!